Hi,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
How are you? Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Yes, it is nice to meet now.
I have been following you from Instagram and knowing your work and looking forward to actually buy your book physically because I don't remember if I show you that I bought it online in an ebook format.
Oh, I didn't
through,
know.
through Amazon because I am getting to I don't know it's crazy. I'm starting to love to actually read all kinds of books in a digital format and
Yeah,
and it's scary because you just go and you just click the button of access of buying it and it just in 1 second comes to your library and I can click sometimes more than one book to purchase and that's the only way I can get to actually see your books and get to know your writing style and your style of illustrating, but hopefully soon I can get it physically so I can see it in full color.
yes. We have to get you a physical copy.
Definitely, that's a must. So we're gonna start, okay?
Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's see, give me just 1 second. I'm just gonna, uh, let's see if anyone pops in. Where are you?
So I'm in Clearwater, Florida.
In Florida. Okay, okay. So how far from Miami or from, I guess that Miami would be maybe a good situation for me to know how far it is where you are from.
Yeah, so it's near Tampa.
Okay, okay.
So
I know
it's about
Tampa. Yeah,
okay, good.
yeah, I know Tampa, Orlando, Tampa, that whole area. Okay, so that's where you guys live.
Yes, so I moved here just a year ago.
Oh, really? Really? From where?
So I was in Austin, Texas, or in the area of Austin, Texas,
Are you
just
serious? How long
yeah.
did you live there?
So I was there for a few years. At least 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
Before
wow.
that's where my family is. My family's from Houston, Texas. That's where
Okay,
we
okay,
all grew up.
okay. Oh, wow. I know that whole, I don't know Houston that well, but I have been in Houston. I do know Austin is beautiful. It's really nice.
It's great.
Yeah, the downtown is amazing. It's a good feeling to be there.
Yeah.
It's
And my
nice.
brother Jarrett, yeah, Jarrett still lives there.
Oh,
So
wow.
we
So now,
still visit. Yeah.
yeah, so now you two are going to have to work through Zoom or because you guys work together, right? So
Yeah. I mean, it's
before,
sort of we're sort of exploring how it's going to go. I mean, it's been a year.
yeah,
So we did, for instance, the last book we did, which was that we did final artwork on was It's a Sign.
yes.
And we did collaborate on that. So we actually made the stamps physically together.
I
And
know. Well, I know because I follow you on Instagram and you post things. So that one you guys actually end up doing it in Austin together, correct?
well, no, that's
No.
we did the stamp part, like we made them, drew
Okay.
them, cut them out. But then actually Jarrett was able to do the printmaking in Texas. I was living, briefly in an Airbnb here when we first moved. We didn't have
Oh,
a
okay, okay. So that's the first book that you guys do it in different parts
yeah,
of the country, basically. Got it.
that's
Wow,
right.
but it worked because you guys actually published it, so it
Yeah,
worked.
it worked totally smoothly. So we'll see the other books. It seems like it might work. So
So that book, the most recent one, it has been published in the US by a printer. They don't come from China, basically.
oh, that's a very good question. I think I think there was a little bit of a disruption during COVID
Yeah.
where some runs of the old truck and the old boat may have been from the US, but
Okay.
uh,
Just curious. Yeah.
yeah, but they were supposed to be initially from China. And I think
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's the same with the book that Disney put out. Disney put out It's a Sign, and I think that's probably printed in China.
Oh, wow. Nice. So actually, Disney purchased your book. Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh yeah, this one
Yeah.
It's a sign. That one, yeah, this is it's a series
Yeah.
which is called Elephant and Piggy Like Reading. It's by Mo Willems
So
series.
Mo Williams is associated with Disney, basically.
Right. That's his
I didn't
publisher
know. I didn't.
for
Oh,
that
that's his
series.
publisher. Just
Right.
like that. That's a nice publisher to have.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. Wow. So okay, so then that's his publisher, and then he invited you guys to the collaboration of that book.
So actually, the story, so the text and the illustrations were Jared and I,
Okay.
but we had Mo Willems as an editor and also as a thought partner on the story. So
Oh
he
my
did
gosh, that's
contribute.
fantastic.
Yes.
Wow, what an amazing mentor.
It was incredible.
I mean, what
Like,
an amazing mentor to have, because I okay, he's an editor, but I would just call it mentor, because having someone like that with that view, with that that experience, coming from the field of, he came from the field of Plaza Sésamo, correct?
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
television.
Sesame Street, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Correct.
I was thinking in Spanish. It's called Plaza Sésamo.
Okay.
Did I throw you there for a little bit?
A little bit.
Sorry, I just had to, think quickly about how to say it in English. So
Yeah.
Sesame Street, but he's coming from Sesame Street, correct? If I don't mistake that.
Yeah, he's like won Emmys. That was his background was writing on that.
Yeah, play screen or something in that particular program, because during the COVID, he had an amazing participation, helping children to just have a nice time doing little sketches, blobs. I don't remember that, and I was watching it. I was actually every day expecting, what he was gonna do, like a little tattoo. I want to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that he is an editor too, and I did not realize that he's signed with Disney. So then he invited you guys, basically, or Disney contact you. How did that happen?
Yeah. So, and I just to be clear on this specific series, it's called Mo Willems Elephant and Piggy Like Reading.
Yes.
And he's had first at the time there were 8 books that had come out on that.
Okay.
And he was approaching us to be the 9th, do the 9th book. And the way that it worked for us is his editor reached out to our agent and just with a little exploratory question of would we be interested in meeting and just talking with Mo Willems about the book series. And it was just like an intro and to see where it would go. And the whole thing was really like the dream come true.
Yes, you don't have to think too much about that one. I mean,
Right.
And one of the things that I like is that during those seasons that he did for free during the pandemic, he always was reinforcing to, hey, it's a good idea. It was just a good idea that he was saying that, that why don't you buy a book from an author that is new, or someone that you don't know. And I thought, my gosh, that is so necessary, because I'm sorry to say this, Jeremy, but the known artists are already known. They have multiple of titles and books. And I mean, I know particularly a lot of authors that they publish like about more than 7 books per year. Because these authors are senior authors, they are very well known, they have a name, and they have the luxury to have more than 5 publishers, right?
Right.
So that's why, that's the only way. And they write a lot, they have a lot of content too from many years. And all what they have to do is taking a little bit less of time and pull out in the drawer what they have done in years, work on it and show it to their agent or publisher. So that's the only way you can publish 7 books a year, because if you're starting, it's impossible to illustrate more than 2 books.
Yes.
So that's time consuming. And also it's impossible to come up with a great story every 2 months. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So when he's, inviting the viewers to buy a book from someone new, I thought, oh, this is so sweet. That is really, something that he thought about it, and it's nice. It's really nice. So and that's part of the thing about this whole program, this during the pandemic, because I speak 3 languages. I kind of got inspired by him, and I said, I could contact people that are well known and, humble, hoping that they will say yes, right? That they will accept an invitation. And I have been very blessed and very lucky to interview all kinds of authors from different parts of the world that I didn't even expect. But then I also want to bring new talent. I want to bring new talent, and because this is a window to another part of the world for you as well. So, the viewers in Brazil are going to meet you, and you're going to meet, the people in Brazil. It works both ways.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes I feel that the world is very small, which it's true, but sometimes it's really big because there's a lot of talent. There's really, it's infinite. I don't know if that's the way to say it in English, but it's really infinite. The pool of talent that you can find in gosh, even in the most remote places, there's always going to be someone outstanding that brings something beautiful to the world, that contributes with something. So, and you're part of it. And I prepared a little folder. Now you can see it.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Oh my gosh, look at that. You cannot see my mess of my desktop, right? Or do you only see the picture?
No, I just see the picture.
Okay, gosh, because if you see my desktop, it's a mess.
Same over here.
Okay, so let's see. Wow, I had to do some homework, and I just came up with this picture. So beautiful, making stuff together since 1981. Wow. So, okay, this is a dumb question, but are you the younger or the older?
Oh yeah, I'm the younger, and even in that photo,
the baby. Yeah. And he's a toddler, or I guess he's a toddler in that picture, right? Or both of you? Is he 5?
I think we might have both been toddlers. He's only a year and a half older than me.
Oh yeah, so both of you, baby and toddler. I would say baby and toddler. That's so cute. Okay, so let me ask you. Wow, did you guys ever thought that you guys were gonna work together?
That's a good question. I think we did think that. We always created that, and we created on that. For instance, even when, like we said, making stuff together since 1981, when we were really little, it was obviously just imaginative play or, whatever art projects. But as we grew older, like, elementary age here, we actually had the opportunity we went to a smaller school, and they let us collaborate across grades because he is a grade ahead of me. So we would do things where he would write a story and I could illustrate the pictures, and this was schoolwork, So
sharing homework already since
yeah. And that was really creating stories that felt pretty fleshed out to us. They felt like this was something we could actually do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll just share that by the time we were teenagers, that is when we first decided to look at what would it take to write a book and get published. And so that's when our first collaboration on an actual book happened, which was a book called Creepy Things Are Scaring Me. We were teenagers. We collaborated on the text for it, and then we even did a dummy book. But I think at the time we weren't professional illustrators, so we were very excited when a publisher just wanted the text, and that's how it went.
because one of the things that picture, you guys definitely, it shows that you guys are very close to each other. There's love, there's respect, and there's a lot of happy moments. There's it's a very early picture, right? To say that you guys have a lot of memories because it's your beginning, but it tells a lot. It tells a lot, and I was surprised to actually, when I did my homework, I discovered there's a lot of siblings in this industry, which actually took me by surprise. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's sort of what we discovered. We've seen that as we got into it, such as the Fan brothers and the O'Hara sisters. We've connected on social media. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm not thinking. Oh, yes, there are. I've seen a few.
Yeah. There are. I mean, I was kind of like, I think that I know about other two more or something like that. But I guess that the more you come up with names, maybe we'll be surprised, right? So, but this is a very interesting way of doing a book. I know of someone that is a mom, and then she brought her daughter into, the business because she wanted to also write books, and then they started doing a lot of collaborative books, mom and daughter, which I thought, oh my gosh, that's like, wow, what a combination, right? But that's not very common. I don't think, well, probably not. I don't know. Again, maybe if we dig into, we'll find a lot of moms and daughters working together. Yeah, but that's fantastic. That's great. So then let me see the next picture that I have, because I want to be kind of surprising you here and there with with images. So I'm just going to be popping as they come, okay?
Okay.
So I want to share this one because this one is now, and I want to share it with the audience. So now tell me if you can see this. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we're talking about couple of decades.
Right.
2 decades, 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now look at that. Look at that. The two brothers, and it's amazing. And now you guys, by any chance, because I want to be clear on this as well, you guys publish a book as an independent author, or you guys work from the beginning with the idea of being published by a traditional publisher?
So we worked with the idea of being published through a traditional publisher from the start.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just, we're both had our own careers going. Jarrett was the CEO of a tech startup at the time, very busy. Mm-hmm. And I was working as a designer at Disney. And, what made sense for us was to do the traditional route. That's about as much as we could invest at the time as our own storytelling skills.
Of course. Because it requires a lot of, it's more than money. It requires logistics, contacts, marketing, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of strategies to put together. You can be a self-publisher tomorrow, but then if you really want to do it right, it takes a lot more than just going to the printer and print a book. So basically, I think that's how I actually know you, because in the first post that I came, I think from Instagram, it said that you were not sure if you were working with Disney or you already were doing just books of children's with your bro. But I think that I recall that I said, oh, that's interesting. He works for Disney. And then I just look at your, drawing. So that's cool. That's cool. But now you don't work anymore, right?
Right. That's pretty recent, but just in March or April. April is actually the last month, and yeah, decided that it was time, to be able to do the projects that we want to do.
Nice.
Yeah, it was actually at the point where I would either be turning down these opportunities to work with some incredible authors.
Fantastic.
So
then, do you mind if I ask you, how long did you work with them?
No, sure. I was with Disney for 6 years.
Oh, that's quite a good experience you got there.
Yeah, it was great. And, I started as an intern, actually.
As an intern?
I was a pretty old intern, but I started as an intern. I left as an art director. It was a great little
That's fantastic. That is so nice for new artists that will eventually listen to this recording, that there's hope, right? There's the dreams can come true. I mean, this is someone that started as an internship, and the internships are paid or non-paid depending on now a lot of situations and the economy and everything, but regardless if the internship is paid or not, look at you, right? It's a long way that you came from. And congratulations again, because it's cool.
Thank you. And I want to fill in the gap on one thing. I mentioned that we wrote our first book as teenagers, and that was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
But it was a singular incident. After that happened, we went out in the real world. We finished school, we got jobs. We sort of did not continue creating together on books. Even though it was in the back of our head that it was something that we always wanted to return to. But it took, like you said, a couple of decades. It's actually 20 years later before.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? But it was already part of the history, right? It was part of your history. It was going to come eventually because it was already part of it. But the thing is that, so how did you end up actually learning the skills of drawing? You guys, both of you come from visual arts, or both of you come from totally different careers?
So I think it's ultimately different careers. Jarrett does have a background outside of his the most recent company that he had, which was actually a dental product company. He had a video game company in the earlier days. So it was always something creative, but it wasn't necessarily drawing.
Okay.
I've always been passionate about art, whether it's drawing or painting or whatever. But it wasn't until, I actually did, I went back to school at 34 to learn more with visual arts. I actually studied graphic design.
Oh, you studied graphic design. Okay. Yeah. Well, graphic design helps. Oh, you know what? One of the things, the good thing that you mentioned that, because I know a couple of very talented authors / illustrators. And funny enough, they have two very interesting backgrounds. No, actually three interesting backgrounds, okay? So the first one is, if you study architecture, you're going to have a phenomenal background. The second one is graphic design. Oh my gosh, definitely, especially for what it's called the concept books. That definitely opens thousands of possibilities, because now you understand the packaging, you understand how the mechanism of the book, the cost and everything, right, for the publisher to be able to acquire the idea, because those are very expensive, and most of them, they have to be done overseas because of the technology, of the machinery, and the cost, of course. And then the third one is screenwriting.
Oh, yes.
Because the screenwriting is, it really helps you to understand. If you illustrate, you have this vision of close-ups, of how the lens is looking through the you're looking at the book at different angles, but also in the text, it gives you a lot of foundation. So
absolutely,
illustration and foundation, and I think that there's a couple of people that I know that they have one of them, not the three of them, but one of those skills. That's great. So you have graphic design, and that's a good one. Yeah,
so I thought you were I thought your third was going to be animation. That's the other one.
Oh, animation. No, animation I didn't say because I'm too old, so I have to think very. Oh my God, animation enters into my field of. I don't want to become a dinosaur, but yeah, animation, definitely anime, and that's why I am acquiring as an end consumer, not as a publisher, but as an end consumer. I want to buy ebooks. I want to buy digital books. I want to have the experience as a reader. How does it feels? And now we're talking about even apps. But apps is something else, and and that's where the animation comes in. And the animation comes in also when you have a debut book, a launch, right? And a book launch, and you have these amazing videos that animate a little bit with music and showing the new book, isn't it? And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. And that didn't even existed 10 years ago. That's all new. That's all new, right? I mean, to sell a book, sorry, but that did not exist. Now we just enhance it. We're just giving the reader different experiences.
Yes.
So he can choose what he wants. That's right. That's all. So it's like Netflix. You want to go to the movies and have the popcorn, then go to the movies, right? And then you want to be at home and just watch Netflix. So then you can still have the popcorn, but it's not the same experience.
Right. It's a good analogy.
Yeah. So, and that's the same with the books. That's exactly the same with the books. Kindle, right? Something new. Who thought that you could read a children's book through Kindle? So then the other one that is, now we're going to talk a little bit about illustrations. And the first one that I have here is this picture here. So let me share the screen. So the only reason why I pull out this one, you can see it, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the only reason why I actually pull it out is because I'm curious to know about how both of you come up with your design. How did you guys come up with your style? Who chooses the color palettes? And how do you guys, that is a collaboration between the both of you? That illustration is both of you in it?
So that one was work that I just did by myself.
You did it by yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain us a little bit about the process. How do you come up with, the actual color palette and the actual style?
Okay, certainly. So for just on this one in particular, I was creating content for a portfolio, and I didn't have any. Didn't have any manuscript to illustrate at the time, so I was just going to tell some visual stories or create some images that I wanted to see. And this one was inspired by real life in terms of I was visiting my dad lived in Harlem at the time, briefly. But I was there, and this was based on an actual subway stop. And so that was the inspiration. In terms of the style, I like to work with very simple shapes. It has a very graphic look.
Yes. That's from the graphic design, huh?
I think so. And just, an appreciation of printmaking. If I'm able to do printmaking, this happens to be a digital illustration.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Linear art?
Linear?
Yeah, because basically you start with lines, right? You start with lines and geometric shapes, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's how that's created. But I think the same question applies to the work that we do jointly. And to answer your questions on that, it's really when we're doing things together, it's for a manuscript or it's for a story that we are telling. So what we concentrate on is what is the story, and we know that some of it will be told with words, and we know some of that's going to be supported or told with an image, and that sort of narrows down what we're trying to create. We know we're going to show an image of, for instance, the old truck in the winter, and then it's kind of just figuring out together what the concept is. So what's the idea that we're going to show in this illustration, and what are all the elements that we want to communicate through the artwork? And then all of that informs the composition. And then we'll, figure out a composition, and that's all the design steps. So once it's designed and we know what we're doing, I will be the one usually that draws the shapes that we're going to do. And we use those shapes to make stamps, because we've done printmaking for every book that we've illustrated so far.
Yeah, so that's also a style that you guys are, bringing, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's almost like you're not, I don't want to say branding. I'm thinking branding because you guys are brothers, and right. But it's actually that's your style. That's both of you, your style. So the question is, who writes?
So we both so far we both have written.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, to give you a good idea.
Yeah.
Like a good case study is the old truck. On that one, I brought that idea to Jarrett. After being inspired by this old truck that I saw.
Yeah.
And I had the first line in my head. I said, it could be on a small farm, an old truck worked hard. And then we keep it very simple. Yeah. And I sort of pitched it to him, and he was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then he brought a whole other concept to it and other layers that we were going to include in there, like what's the family story.
Nice.
And that made it
work.
Yeah. And then he ended in the end, he 100% wrote some of those lines. I wrote some of those lines. Together, we wrote the story. And I think that's how we could say we both write.
Yeah, that's really, really nice, because now you're not only having an idea, but you're sharing it with someone that you trust, and that idea gets transformed. And what you guys actually doing at the end of the day is a brainstorm. And what a better way to do a brainstorm with a partner, right? Because, brainstorms, oh gosh, that's the fundamental, the foundation of actually something being conceived, to say it like that way, correct? So nice, very nice. So let me show you then. The colors are beautiful on that illustration. I really like those colors. I was not even having a clue that you were using it you did it in Procreate or Photoshop?
So that was Photoshop.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not still very good at saying if that is manually or digital. I still don't have the savvy to say.
Sure.
Yeah. So then another one here is this fun one right here. So that one right there.
Okay. Yeah.
That's yours, or that's in combination?
Again, that's mine.
That's yours.
And,
okay.
Before we had the old truck, I did not have any, thing to show. I didn't have any finished artwork.
For your portfolio? Is one of
for
your portfolio? Okay.
So I just created a bunch of stuff. I tried to share stuff on Instagram. Yeah. Back then I was able to work more just for fun and share stuff. So again, that's what that is. That was one that I did by myself. I will say I took the, from the artwork that I did when we decided that we were going to collaborate, we did kind of it's still, like you were saying, this sort of looks the same as the stuff that we create together.
Yes.
So I think kind of my aesthetic influences our work together. Yeah.
Because on this one it's the same colors. It's very similar to the style, and basically when I see more and more your work, I can recognize that this is from both of you. So that's a cool thing. And I was gonna ask you, in terms of the portfolio, which is a very interesting piece for, again, people that will watch this recording. So for you, it did work, actually, putting pieces in Instagram, build your portfolio. And is that how you have an agent?
So I have an agent now.
Is that how the agent discovered you, by looking at the Instagram, or it was another story?
Well, it's a bit of another story, but
did it help, right?
I think it helped. For one, I had something to point to.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, I'll also tell you this, it was sort of a parallel path. One thing, I was creating art and putting it on the internet. But I was also working with Jarrett on this dummy book that we were so proud of, that we knew was going to be an awesome book to sell.
Which is the old
truck.
Okay.
And so that book finished, and right as I finished that book, I had one agent reach out. They were like, I see these images you're sharing. It's beautiful. I have to ask you, do you have
I get goosebumps. That's awesome.
Well, it was magical. It was. The agent reached out right at that moment, and
nice.
we had our dummy book done. We were ready to share it, but we also had previously, there was an agent that we specifically wanted to share it to first. Nice. So we honored that.
Nice, very nice, very nice stories. So basically, and now I'm just gonna move here 2 seconds to another thing. But now you are a daddy.
That's right.
And now you have stories to tell to your child.
Yeah, I mean, I should say this. I'm, a daddy times 3. So I just had my youngest in last August.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's almost 1 though. The year has flown by.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's really cool because, I mean, just like you're telling me these stories, I mean, just imagine how many stories more you will have right there, to tell her. And so now on this one, I'm going to open this other one that is coming on my computer. So this one is the old boat. Okay, so on the old boat, my question is, you guys actually, from the old truck was the first one. So right. Then is the publisher was expecting a series, or it just happened organically that you guys had the old truck and then now let's move to the old boat, or you guys already had something in the middle of the old truck knowing that you guys needed to have something else coming soon? When I said soon, of course, within a good timing of preparation.
Yeah. Well, I'll share this for the timeline. So the old truck, we spent about 2 years, honestly, if I'm honest, from start of thinking and brainstorming.
I believe that.
Yeah, to the time that we had a dummy book that was done.
Yeah, so, that's what I said, the good time. This is considering it's a good time, not like a week or 2 weeks. That's impossible. But yeah, 2 years.
So that took 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we sent it to that agent. We got like a quick, fast response. There was a lot of enthusiasm. And then she shared that with the publishers. And so within 3 months, we had the book deal. And when the book was sold, it was sold at auction. So there were 3 houses that were bidding on that book.
Lucky. Yeah. Those are the best ones.
Yeah, it was great. So, and every publisher was offering a 2-book deal. So we did at that point.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's very cool that you're sharing this information, because that is something that most of the young artists that want to get into this field, they don't know. And actually, it might be something American publishers do this, or other from other countries, because not every publisher is going to ask you for a 2-deal contract. Okay, like in Brazil, it doesn't happen. It's very rare that a publisher is going to tell you, hey, we're going to publish your book and we're expecting 2, right? That's not going to happen. So in this case, then I have heard that a lot of authors have to have at least something or under the sleeve, I guess it's called. So in this case, how easy it was to then come up from the old truck to the old boat. It was a cool conceptualization, or it was a struggle? Can you share it?
For us, it was pretty smooth.
Nice.
And I would say we had, we'd just finished that, the old truck. So our head was in this style of storytelling. And I don't know if Jared brought it up or I brought it up, but we kind of had an idea of, if we wanted to do a companion book, it could be about a boat. And that was about as much as it was. And then Jared had an idea of, we're very thoughtful about it. The old truck shows the passage of time that takes place on this farm. The old boat shows, traveling distance out into the ocean and then back to the shore. And then it shows, time passing and the environment changing. So we wanted to explore different themes, but with a similar style of storytelling, and everything kind of fell into place. We were very thoughtful. There was some back and forth, but I wouldn't say it was something that we, that was giving us too hard of a time.
Who came up with the title? The publisher ended up actually suggesting the titles, or actually the old truck was the original title, and then the old boat was you guys both together choosing that title as well.
Yeah. So for us with Norton, they kept the title. So we came up with the title.
Both of them, you guys came up with that title. Okay.
Right.
Because that's a cool sequence, right? That's a very cool sequence. Okay, the old. Is there going to be a third one?
Well, there's certainly an opportunity for it. I think
for another oldie story. That's cool. Yeah, because certain titles help you to be more expandable. Gives you more flexibility to create ideas. That's awesome. And the colors are still maintained, right, throughout, very soft. It didn't change because it's a series. Is that what it is actually, or it's not even a series? It's not like volume 1 and volume 2. There are 2 different books independently, but with the same feeling. Correct. Okay, so at this point they are not serious, but then if you come with a third one, we could maybe see later, you coming from a graphic design background. I'm sure that you're already thinking, oh, I'm going to see my 3 books in this little cute box that the moms can buy it in Costco or Target or wherever. Right. Yeah. So I'm already thinking in that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, Jerome. So let me see one more thing here. So this one is so cute. I mean, you share it in the Instagram, so that's why I'm sharing these images. So basically, let's see. Give me 1 second here. I just thought that this is so cute. An illustrator also has to have, not really they have to have, but this is your companion. Is this your companion, or is this your brother's companion?
So that is Jared's companion. Her name is Whiskey.
So sweet.
Yeah.
And he's part of all the stories. I like the cabinet. I like the cabinet on the left side. Is that where you guys keep all your artwork, right?
Right. We keep
pretty cool.
Like the stamps that we've made. I have one at my house, but
those like are this. Yes, I saw that one. That's very handy. Yeah. That's very handy. Yeah.
He's got them in all of those drawers, and the prints that we've made, all of the originals are stored in there. Then we also have our art supplies in one of them.
Very cool. The dog is beautiful. I just wanted to share that with the audience because he's so cute. He's so cute.
Yeah.
So let's see one more picture here that I have. So basically, your work. Okay, this one, I'm not sure. Of course, now it changed because now you guys moved to different place. But this one right here, is that was your desk, or that was your bro, or is your bro's desk? I don't know if it changed already, the look.
No.
Can you see it now?
I saw it briefly, but it went down.
It didn't show. It will show now. Hold on. Okay, that's whose desk is that? Both of you.
So that's Jared's desk. I will say, moving forward, we do have to see, like, if there's for instance, there's a project that we're finishing the dummy book for right now. It's going to have extensive printmaking as part of it. I don't know that we're going to do it remotely. I might go there, for a week or two to make the designs and then come back and do the rest remotely. But that studio, he's got all the supplies. It's a really great setup. And that is where we've worked.
I had the microphone off, sorry, because my dog is making so many noises here and there. So no, what I was saying is that's awesome. That really helps. That really helps because you guys have all the materials there, so that facilitates the the job. So that's
Exactly.
nice. Okay, awesome. And then, so basically, let's see, we have two more. So this one is just a cool thing that I thought was interesting, so the audience can see how is the process. It's always nice to see the process of an illustration. So this is the process, right? So here, can you see that?
Yes. So like, as I was saying, the first step is designing it. This is the composition. It was very meaningful. Like every element on that page had a purpose. But that was pretty much the rough design of where the stamps were going to go and what their shape should be. Yeah, and I'll share, like the grass was drawn with brush tip marker, not a stamp.
Okay. No, it's always interesting to see the process. So we basically we have three more slides, surprises that I just cannot pull out. So we can then continue about this image. And basically what we were trying to share with the audience is that this is the process where you actually developed your very and also your very own and unique style together with your brother, correct?
So that's right.
Now, and this is the first step, because this is done in graffiti, right? This is just in pencil or something, or in a pen, or I don't know what you use there, or digital. Yeah. This is digital too, kind of like.
No, this was not digital. So yeah, I'll tell you exactly. I usually draw with a pencil sometimes, or a marker. Okay. And I'll be specific. I did use a marker for this type of work, and we do that so that we don't get too into the details, and we keep it very simple shapes with these thick lines. I just use, actually I have it right here, like a little brush tip marker.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me stop the share so they can see it better. Hold on. Now you can show me now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So perfect. Yeah.
Marker. And so we will do that for that first step, which is designing the composition. And sometimes we'll put more detail, like those trees, for example, were very simple shapes. In the end, the stamps ended up being more complex, but that was the starting point, and that's the first step.
That's great. That's great. So I believe I do have actually that one that you're talking. Let me then go and move on to the next slide. And I think it was exactly the stamp. So there was that one. Oh yeah, this is the stamp. Look at that. This is amazing. Let me just go ahead and share it with you so you can see what I'm talking about. But this one, this is fun. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah. So that, and see the trees, they did change and they're more elaborated, basically.
That's right. So we take that drawing, and I'll use a light board, a tracing board, so it shines light through the paper, and I trace the designs onto foam, and Jarrett will do that too. We'll split it up sometimes, and that's craft foam that we then cut out and make those stamps with.
That is fantastic. So let me just do the stop share right now. Yeah, this is really nice. I did not realize that actually the book was made like that. It actually took it by surprise, but it's really beautiful. And then I think I have then the last one. Let me see here, another one. Hold on. So this one I'm going to show you is just I'm not sure what is this, but I think it's just the same one, but as a black and white copy. Is that what it is?
Right. So what this is actually the prints that we make using those stamps from the previous slide.
Okay.
So and yeah,
it's like a test, right?
Well, yeah, that right there is actually the prints that we end up using. And I'll explain. So we take those stamps, we create these prints, and then we take the prints and we actually scan them in the computer. And the last part is digital. So we do that with Photoshop software of arranging the prints into a composition, or a composite, I should say. And that way we're able to experiment with color and make adjustments. But we found that to be workable for when we're doing something like a book where these images are complex and we want to show something exact.
Okay, I got it. Now I understand. So basically what Is it the right term, kind of like a silk screen type of? Is that correct? Or you are putting a layer of a color on top of another layer of a color digitally?
Right. It's sort of a digital mimic of silkscreen printing.
Yes, kind of
Yeah,
in that orientation. It is not, but it's kind of taking some of the concepts, right?
that's right.
Yeah, because if you actually do a shirt, let's say a shirt based just on the tree, you have already the mold.
Right.
And then or the block, if you want to call the block, something like, or it would be like a stamp work also, which is nothing to do with silk screen, but it would be also beautiful, just like a white shirt with it. Hey, maybe that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? What I'm saying is, this is also something very new. I'm sure you know about this. I'm looking at Target that is now doing some type of licensing with illustrators.
Yeah, I saw that with Christian Robinson.
Yes.
Had that really large
and
collection earlier.
He's the first one, or not. I don't know really if he's the first one or not, but I can see
First
that.
Yeah.
I can see
well,
that.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you saw on ours, but we did a licensing deal with West Elm, which is the home decor.
Nice. No, I didn't see that. Nice. And what did they do with the home decor? What piece did they?
It's still available now. They're calling it the Old Truck Collection. It was a really wonderful opportunity. They're basically using things like the artwork from the old truck, and we actually shared with them the prints that we made for the book. So they've got patterns based on the flowers that you see.
Nice. So it's like for the bed, right? Bedding, kind of.
Right, for bedding and for a lamp. They made a lamp out of the old truck, which is really cool.
Maybe I saw it. Yeah, that's awesome, right? That's really cool. Yeah. I don't know if you see also that there's a lot of companies actually licensing the artwork of the illustrators for paper. Craft wrapping paper.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. No, that's really nice because it takes you from different opportunities, right? It takes you different places, and
I think so.
And suddenly it's not just I don't want to say it's not just a book. That doesn't sound that nice. Maybe I should say it's more now, right? It's an amazing book, but then now your products are more versatile because now you can find them in different shapes and places. So that's pretty cool. That's nice. Yeah. So then this other one is before the first one that you were using the marker. This is already with the stencils, with the blocks.
Right. So, well, what this would be that we've taken those stamps.
Yeah.
We put them in the computer, and now we've got a composite, and this is the composite.
Exactly.
And I'll add that we use black and white, or we use black ink because it has very good contrast and it picks up well.
Exactly. No, that's great. That's a great idea. That's an excellent tip actually that you're giving to us, because the contrast, you can only really see the highlight and the contrast with black and white and see where you need to put more or less. So this is fantastic. This is great. And the last one that I have here is this one that I thought that was beautiful. Let me click on here and then to a share. So what can you tell me about this picture?
So this was another a wonderful opportunity that we had. So for us, the old truck came out in 2020, so right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
And we really did not do a lot of in-person visits. We had a lot of invitations going into the year, and like book festivals and all of these.
But you had to cancel, right? You had to
cancel. They all canceled,
of course.
And we didn't know, if we'd ever really have those kinds of opportunities again.
Yeah.
But this was a university here called Lenoir-Rhyne, which is in North Carolina, and they had this thing where the whole school district would get a copy of the old truck. I think it was over 2,000 students
Oh,
got
that's wonderful. That's
of the book.
wonderful. Wow.
Yeah. And then
Nice.
they did a contest where the kids were prompted to tell their own stories around an old truck and create artwork inspired by some elements from the book. And it was a countywide thing. And then the university put on a stage play of the book, and they composed music for it, and it was a really beautiful
That's fantastic.
experience.
This is
And
a university, not a elementary school, a university.
that's right. It's a university that has a good reach into their community. I'll say this, they're teaching future educators, and those educators came up with a curriculum program around the book, and that was provided to the school
that's
district.
excellent. That's excellent. That's an excellent idea. Yeah. So it's part of the continue education, right? Continue education, basically. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
In the end, the people that were watching the play and doing the contest, those were kids. Those were first and second graders that were able to do that. And then we met them. It was a 3 or 4 day experience where we saw the 2,000 kids and their families, and they came through there. It was really
it's probably beautiful to walk into that stage and suddenly see that. It probably was like a cardboard. I don't know if it was it's a cardboard, right, in the image.
I think it might have been made out of some type of wood,
or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but really nice, isn't it? Because that's when you can see how far a book starts to fly.
Yes.
So really,
it was very, it's a simple story, but it was very moving to see it brought to life that way, right?
Of course, yeah. It makes you continue, right? It's like an affirmation. Yes, I'm doing the right thing, and I want to become better, and I'm in the right path. I'm doing what I really want to do and what I'm meant to do, basically. So, absolutely. And another amazing affirmation is you got an amazing award, and I don't want to say it wrong.
Yes.
The name.
So for the old truck, that year was incredible. Towards the end of the year, the books get on these best of the year list.
And Ezra, right?
Right, and that's what we ended up getting was the writer's honor for the Ezra Jack Keats Award.
Exactly. Yeah. I just remember the Ezra Award. Yeah, right. Because you know what? It was live in Zoom. They actually invited anybody that wanted to be listening to the awards, and then I saw you there because they interview all of you. Right.
That's right.
Yeah, and then I said, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" Because if I recall well, there was this is like for new authors. You were right. You were considered like a new author then.
Yeah. Which it was a second book in my life that I wrote.
Because there was like a couple of them too in like a new authors. They were very outstanding books too. And wow, getting an Ezra prize is amazing. It's a good start. It's a very good start.
We were thrilled and very humbled and excited to get that. We were really happy.
Yeah, that was really nice. Really, really nice. So basically, I think that is what I have in terms of surprises, of images that I pull out. And I have 2 questions for you, so we can then, grab the interview. So the first one is, what did you learn that made you, that you thought, okay, I learned this during the pandemic, and this is a good thing for me, what was that? Because we were like 2.5 years pretty much, right?
Yeah.
With that whole experience. So I'm sure that a lot of us learned a lot of good lessons. So what is something that you carry on as a gift? Let's say like, like a gift, okay, like a positive thing, like, okay, this is what I learned, and and I appreciate this learning.
Okay, yeah, I love that question. Where my attention goes to is during the earlier part of the pandemic, we really had an opportunity to slow down. And, you know, I didn't have a day job for a while. You know, we all started working from home. But what I found out is, you know, it's okay to do that, to slow down and put my attention on whatever creative thing I want to do. And, you know, that I'm basically an untapped resource on that. You know, basically taking the time that I need to invest in being creative.
Yes.
It's, you know, before the pandemic, I think it was very easy to get burned out, you know, having a day job, having kids, doing a book career on top of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it starts to choke the creativity. You know, that was my experience. So I feel like that was something that I learned. And as a result of, you know, carving out time and taking time, it did lead to, you know, opportunities to create things that I've never created before. And, you know, I'm speaking for myself here, but Jared and I got to work on new formats of books. And for instance, the latest book that came out was something I had no experience with, you know, a beginner reader book. And there's other stuff from that still hasn't even come out yet, but it's all, I feel, as a result of taking the time that I need to be the artist that I want to be.
Very nice. Very, very nice. That's totally, I agree with you. Life was too hectic. And,
yes.
And suddenly it's like, you know, it shows that it's okay to just pause and reflect, right? We have a lot of time to reflect, a lot of nights to reflect and to think where we were going, right? And why, and, you know, how. And and people like us, you know, artists, they are in continuing evolution, you know, like teachers, that's why, you know, the word continuing education, right? You don't stagnate and say, I know everything. You continuously learn styles, do research, right? Apply new materials to your work. There's new things coming up in the market all the time, right? The latest marker, the new pastel oil that is coming, and you want to, you know, experience on paper. So that's amazing. That's really cool. And then my last question to you, which is not a question, it would be more like a gift, if you can give us the honor to give us a tip in any format of art. What would you be telling to the young generation that wants to become an artist, an illustrator? And do you have a special thing that maybe you struggled that you want to share with us in technique, and then you learn it, and then you were like, oh, this is cool? Anything that comes into your mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll share this, and I think this might be, you know, it applies to different areas, because I could apply this as a writer or as an illustrator. And for me, there's a bit of a curve, and, you know, that I experienced. And when I first started out, I would struggle with, you know, being happy with the artwork that I was creating. And I wouldn't feel certain that I could absolutely create an image or do the illustration that needs to be done, or do a whole book with these characters and world that I create. And I didn't have that certainty. The way I think I got the certainty, because I certainly have it more now than I did before, was just by finishing, like starting an illustration, doing it and finishing it, and doing that again and again and again, and basically just pushing through that. And at a certain point, it got to where now I know that's the curve that it's always going to be. You're going to start drawing something and you're going to be like, oh, I hate this. But, you know, you can get
the ugly part, right? In writing is called the ugly part, and also in the illustration as well. That's a great tip. That's a fantastic thing, because I think that what I hear the most is like, am I ready? you know. How do I know that this drawing, that this paint is ready to be sold, right? Is this good enough? Or you know, Instagram is a great tool, but it's also it can be a very scary thing for your mind to be overwhelmed and saying, oh my God, this person is, look at this is amazing, this is fantastic, and look at mine. It doesn't even look like that person, right? And that doesn't mean that your work is not ready. It's just two different artists, you know, and the level may be different, but again, that doesn't mean that, you know, you're not good enough or you don't have the confidence. And what you said about practice is a friend of mine, he said, you know, it's a muscle. The drawing is just, you practice like going to the gym, and it's the muscle that you train. And the more that, like you just told me, you do it again and you do it again and you do it again, and you start getting more confidence as well. So
yes, I agree 100% with all of that.
This is great. This is great. So thank you, Jeremy, and it's a pleasure meeting you. And please, on my behalf, give a hug to your brother and congratulate your brother as well with all this beautiful work that both of you are bringing to the world. And it has been a pleasure talking to you. And hopefully we'll have another opportunity to, you know, to chat or to actually meet in person. That would be lovely as well.
Oh, yes. Yes, thanks so much. It was totally my pleasure to have this conversation. And yeah, it was such an honor. So thank you for inviting me.
Likewise. You take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.